Welcome to Amazon Legends, where we have real stories about making it big on Amazon. Our guests are CEOs of large companies and entrepreneurs who became power sellers, also providers specializing in helping sellers, aggregators that acquire sellers, and former Amazonians will give us an insight from behind the scenes. Here is your host, Nick Urison.
Welcome to another episode of Amazon Legends. My next guest today is a social media guy. He spent a long time in paid social media, and today he manages the paid media at Nuance Media, which is a full-service Amazon agency. And in fact, I've had their CEO a while ago on the show, and he's the one that I found it extremely valuable that he was giving some numbers about what kind of pictures would increase the conversion rate by how much. So that was extremely valuable. And they were kind enough to come back to the show. And this time we're going to talk about something very important that everybody wants to learn. And so when he's not working, he likes cooking. And he loves especially Italian, Nepalese, and Indian food. So with that, everybody, meet my guest, Ankit Goel. Welcome to the show, Ankit.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. And so today, when you and I met, we were trying to figure out what can we talk about that people would take advantage of and then go use it right away. And finally, we came up with the perfect subject that everybody wants to listen to. So it's about finding opportunities that will increase rank and sales while reducing wasted ad spend, which is everybody's dream, right? So increase the takeoffs, reduce the ad spend with a higher return, and at the same time, rank high on keywords. So with that, let's jump right in. So tell us, how do you do that?
So most importantly, the data that Amazon provides is search query performance report and search term report, right? So search term report, you get all of your PPC data where you are served with your ads, where you serve out based on where you're targeting, the auto campaigns, the broad match, all that kind. Now, before Amazon released the search query performance, that was the only report you had. You had no idea where your organic placements are, which is now Amazon provides that data using search query performance. So now we're going to talk about how do we utilize it to find where are we ranking and where are we displaying our ads from the sponsored side, where are we displaying our products organically, utilize our organic rank, and how do we find opportunities to target new keywords through PPC, rank on more keywords so that we can increase our organic sales gradually, and a secret sauce that nobody talks about, how to reduce our ad spend while also scaling.
Okay, so there's a few reports that you are combining. So first of all, you are getting the search query performance report. Yes. And then you are combining it with the advertising report, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Which advertising report do you combine it with?
I usually use sponsored product search term report because 80% of all US sellers' advertising budget goes towards sponsored products, and that has a lot more valuable data in terms of advertising reports.
Okay, so there are several reports under sponsored products. So one of them is called search terms, and then there is also search term impression share report, right? Which one do you work with?
I usually work with search term report itself. The search term impression report serves a different purpose, which is probably a whole different topic to talk about. So for this, you can use search term report, or you can just go into your bulk operations, and now you can download search term reports directly with your bulk file along with your campaigns. So you can do it either way. I like to do it on the bulk operations side, where you can get last 60 days of data at once.
Okay, So you combine those, and when you say you combine, what you are looking at is the common denominator between those two reports is the search term itself, right?
Yes.
So on each search term that you have in search query performance, you are pulling the advertising search terms report for that same keyword, and then you're looking at the data. We'll get into what specifically are you looking at, what fields, what data points are you looking at. But the other thing that I heard you mention is the organic rank for that keyword. So where do you get the organic rank for that search term?
I prefer to use Helium 10. Now there are a lot of softwares like Jungle Scout, Zonguru. There's a whole different platforms that can provide you with organic rank. My recommendation, always stick to one, because if you start merging multiple software's data, it's not going to be accurate. Now the organic rank changes every hour depending on when you run out of budget, when you are actively in budget, a lot of different varieties, right? So don't get stressed out on having organic rank or checking that every few hours, every single day. You want to look at average. Now, within that, what I do is I track it multiple ways. I track it using Helium 10 keyword tracker. I also do it manually. So I have a list of keywords on my sheet per product or per product family where I have my priority keywords. These are the keywords I want to rank for. These are the keywords I advertise very heavily for. And then while I also have automated keyword tracking in place, I also like to do it manually because I'm more aware of where my organic rank is now. If your organic rank is falling, don't stress out too much because your competitors are also trying to rank while you are. So it's a game who is more stable and who consistently grows long term. So you'll have a graph where it's up and down, but then you want to see an upward trend in a long goal.
Yeah. Okay. So what I always say is if you are fetching the organic rank, and as you put it, it changes all the time. Yep. So when you fetch that is important. So what I always say is make sure that you get that at the same time. If you're doing it daily, make sure that don't pick it up in the morning one day and then in the evening another day. It's going to be different. So always stick to the same schedule and make sure it's the same. So far, you mentioned 3 different sources. One is the search query performance, and then you have the search terms report, advertising for sponsored products, and organic rank. Now, the driver in this is the search query performance for the time frame that you are analyzing, because search query performance comes out weekly and monthly. And you cannot, it's not like weekly, okay, I'll have week from Tuesday to next Wednesday. No, it's calendar week. They give you calendar week by calendar week. So if you are doing the analysis, make sure that the search terms report that you will run on your ad console is for the exact same time frame. And then your organic rank, I guess it's at the end of that week period, right? Fetching it daily. You can fetch it daily if you want, so you can see how it performs. But ultimately, the shortest time frame you're looking at is going to be 1 week, right?
Yeah, I look at various time frames, but it is true. If you are merging data together from search report and search query performance report, but this is going to come in later when you want to track per keyword. So if you have a list of keywords that you really want to track, what is your percentage share, what is your click share, what is your brand share, and all of those. So having that specific time frame is very crucial. And I really want to talk about is finding opportunity where the time frame doesn't really matter because you're trying to find a unique keyword, right? Yeah. So because you're trying to find a unique keyword with search and query performance, you can go back in quarters, years, but in search and report, you can go 6 days. Now, the ideal situation that we do is we have softwares integrated with our customers' accounts So we can go back as many, since we integrated our clients account, but if you don't have a software that stores that data, the best you can do is 60 days. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And are you looking at the brand view or ASIN view?
So if there is multiple brands within an account, and within each brand, there's different products. For, let's say, you have a hand soap, you have body lotion. In that case, I would do it per ASIN. But if your products are all very similar, for example, if you are selling just cremation urns and you have 20 different colors, it doesn't matter if you want to look at per ASIN in terms of finding keywords, right? If you are tracking for keyword performance, then it really matters for ASINs. But while we are talking about finding opportunity, if your product is same throughout your catalog, it advertises and ranks and gets sales on similar keywords, you're trying to find a new keyword, you can do it on brand level. So it depends on catalog, depends on each brand, depends on the strategy.
Okay. If your products are similar products, you can stick to brand view.
Yes.
But if they are different, you have a larger catalog or completely disparate type items, then you can do ASIN view. Okay.
Yep.
So that's this organic rank combined with the search query performance and advertising. And the third one is about, you mentioned the broad campaigns, right? So there's something about broad campaigns. When you and I discussed, you mentioned a trick. So those of you listening, you cannot miss this, because Ankit is going to share a neat little trick that he applies when he's setting up the broad campaign. So tell us how setting up broad campaigns factor into this.
So broad campaign itself is super broad. Now, if you let Amazon take the wheel on your spend, it's going to spend. How do you control Amazon from spending on irrelevant terms, or making sure if you have a keyword that's, let's say, 3 phrases or 3 words, right? For example, if we do pizza oven outdoors, right? If you just advertise that regularly as a broad, it's going to go serve, pizza plates, pizza table, outdoor ovens, or outdoor toys. Amazon will take control and spend your money on all the irrelevant terms, and then you're going to be like, what the heck? Hey, am I not getting sales? If I'm getting sales, why is my A cost so high? Where is my budget going, right? So the trick here is utilize the plus sign. So if same keyword, pizza oven outdoor, you want to put plus pizza space plus outdoor plus oven, right? So this forces Amazon's algorithm to make sure, if it's going broad, to have these 3 keywords in there. Now, it's very similar to phrase match, yes. Now, this trick comes in where you don't have much, limited budget. So instead of running a phrase match, instead of running a broad match, you can run one broad match modifier. That's what we call it. So 2 campaigns merged into one, while also forcing Amazon to go broad. But then you have the control on where your spend is going towards, right? Now, this helps you find longer tail keywords. If you're using 2 or more words together, you'll find longer tail keywords. We usually see that the suggested bids drop. That helps us to control our CPC. Someone told me that Amazon found out about this trick, and then they started treating their algorithm to take the plus and treat it like space. So the suggested bid and the CPC might not be true in the future, but the fact that you can control where Amazon will spend your budget, where it places your ads, you can still control that. And that is the best and the neatest trick that this broad modifier offers. Go broad, but control what keywords you go broad on.
And either space or plus in front of the keyword, right?
Space and a plus. So plus pizza, space, plus oven, space, plus outdoor, right? That will force. So it will be, if I search pizza oven outdoor for California, right? I would be placed on that. But if I don't have outdoor in it, if it's just pizza oven for indoor, then it's not going to show up. So you save a lot of money, a lot of budgets by forcing Amazon to stick with your phrases.
Yeah. Well, Ankit, I have a prioritization methodology. So I use that myself and also in my company, and I train everybody. So how do you prioritize things? And I always go by three things, and you do them exactly in this order. So, and this applies to your work, and in this case, your spend, your increasing sales, promotion, whatever. So the first thing that you go after is you stop the bleeding. Wherever you're bleeding, that's the first thing you do, because anything that you can save instead of wasting, that's going straight to the bottom line, right? So it's the easiest way. Instead of trying to make a new sale, stop the bleeding. That's the first.
Yes.
Second is, I call it follow the money. That means making a sale, generating new sales. So it's basically adding to the top line. That's next. And the third one is do it better. That's where you are improving performance. So you're not wasting. There's no bleeding, and you've got campaigns running and optimizing them. That's the third bucket of tasks. So you are mentioning it exactly in that same order, coincidentally. So you want to stop the waste, and this is in your broad campaigns the easiest way to stop. Okay, so let's now dive into the whole work that you conduct on combining the search query performance and the advertising report. So just to recap, you are printing the search query performance, or you're downloading for a month. Do you do it for a month, or you do weekly? How often do you do it?
So when we are trying to find opportunity keywords, what I usually do is, depending on how much data we have, when I'm taking up a new client, the first thing I do is download the last 60 days of search term report. And then depending on what month we are in, I would do quarterly reports for a year and a half. I won't go more than 18 months. But if there are certain peak seasons, you want to make sure that you capture that peak season search term report. And then if you are in a mid-quarter, you want to capture last month as well. So you might not be able to do that in a quarterly report. So you have to also download a monthly report. And then if you are in a later stage of a month, you have 3 weeks past, you want to download those 3 weekly reports as well. Now, it's a lot of reports, but we are trying to find opportunity, and it's not easy to find opportunity, right? So once you have all of that data, combine all search query performance reports into one sheet. Just add them and stack them in the bottom. Don't clean it at this point. We're going to clean it, right? So stack them all together in another sheet in the same file. Put your 60 days of search term report. Now here gets the fun part. You use formulas to combine these data. And then I have steps by steps of how we can do each. And there's 4 different ways that I personally do the data cleaning and finding opportunities. Now there's thousands of ways that you can utilize search query performance to find thousands of different opportunities. But what I do is the main 4 that you can test. So first, the top 10 to 15 search query scores. Amazon provides you with query scores that Amazon thinks you should advertise on, that is the best keywords for you. So that is the simplest, easiest part. But then it's Amazon algorithm telling you, much better than the algorithms itself. So we have to clean it, right? Figure out what is the best for us. And you might already be advertising on it. You might already be ranking for it. So it might not be an opportunity keyword. And then you have to find out, like you mentioned earlier, merging search query performance and search term reports together. So you want to find overlapping. So what this does is it separates out what you're already targeting in your PPC, what you're already targeting in your PPC as a query in a broad match phrase and auto match, right? So these are your search term reports that brings you that keywords that you're serving your ads on. Third would be impression share versus click share. So you want to see, based on your impression share versus your click share, is your click share higher on a keyword? That means there's more interest from your audience on a product despite having less impressions, right? So it's just a percentage game. And then the last thing we will talk about is using past purchases queries in the search term query. That is why going back 18 months, is helpful because you might convert on a keyword last year, which you're not probably converting this year because maybe you negated some keyword. Maybe that keyword got more competitive, maybe it dropped in volume, maybe it increased in volume, so everybody's catching up. A whole lot of things. But if you got a purchase, then it might be relevant, right?
Mhm. Okay, so there's quite a bit here. So I want to unpack the whole
Yes.
process. So first of all, you are downloading the search query performance report on quarterly basis, and for the past year and a half, you said, I think, right?
Yes. If you have a year and a half of data, yes.
Yeah, year and a half. And also, so this means that you're gonna have 6 quarterly reports, right?
Yes.
Okay. And also you fetch the last 3 weeks.
Depending on what week you are currently in, it will be 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months.
So, and then you're gonna take all this and you're gonna stack them up.
Yes.
Of course, the same keyword is gonna appear in all of them. So what do? You remove the duplicates or what?
Yes. So that's where pivot table is super helpful. So we're using the pivot table, you're going to clean that data. Now there's multiple steps of cleaning the data. So you're going to use the pivot table to find the search query, then sum up all the orders. You're going to sum up the query scores. You're going to sum up the search volumes. You're going to average out your impression share, click share. You're going to sum your purchase numbers. That way it will give you single query, because if you do not clean that up using a pivot table, you'll have multiple keywords, and then it'll be like, oh shit, what did I do? Because I have same keyword, different numbers of purchases, different purchase share, impression share, and all of those numbers.
If you have overlapping time frames with those last weekly reports, so the data should not be overlapping when you, okay, then you can sum up the purchases. Okay.
Yep.
But the score, I just heard you mention also score, you sum up. Do you sum up the score, or do you take an average of it?
So when we are finding opportunity, the score after the first easy steps, it doesn't really matter. So if you're looking at quarterly reports and then you look at top 10 to 15 search query scores, that's the simplest way to find opportunity, right? So you take the top 15, remove your branded, advertise on whatever you're not targeting. But when you go into more detail of merging the data together and then taking impression share and click share, the score doesn't really come into play because now you have a longer term, window of the data. So score is just a factor to find, just a number to look at, but it's not super relevant when you're looking at a long term, because now your search term report is only 60 days, but your search query performance is for 18 months.
Okay. Right. As you know, search query performance has so many columns. So what you are interested in is the search term, of course, the score, impression share, click through, click share.
No. So I'll start from the very left. Search query score, just for a reference. Search volume, so you are going to sum up all the search volume for 18 months. Impression brand share, so what is your brand share of impressions throughout that keyword? So whatever the search volume is, how much percentage did you take? Click share for your brand, so click brand share, right? And then the last one is purchases. So not the share, not anything, just purchases, so you can see units of sales you got on that keyword.
Okay. All right. So now you've got this simplified version of the consolidated report. Okay. So what happens next to find the opportunities?
Okay. So there's multiple steps. Let's talk about overlapping keywords, where we merge search term report and search query performance, right? So once you have all of them in one sheet, you're going to first clean and organize your data, right? That's where pivot table comes into place. So you do the pivot table for search term report in one separate sheet. You do the pivot table for the search query performance in a separate sheet. Using that, from the search term report that you download from the ad console, you take search query, or the customer query in that sense, and you take orders. just orders. Now there are multiple KPIs. If you want to dig deep into, hey, I only want to target high click-throughs or high ACoS, go for it. But I don't do that because I can control my ACoS, I can control my CPC. If you're an expert, take that keyword bid low, bid high, depending on what your goal is, you can control that. We are only finding opportunities, so those KPIs don't really come into play right now. With that pivot table for search term report, we take query and orders and ignore anything with 0 orders because that did not convert for you. Right. In the separate sheet, you have your search query performance where you pull your search queries, your score, your search volume, impression share, click share, and the purchase orders. Put them in one separate sheet. Now in a new sheet, this is where the AI comes in, right? We don't have to be an expert on formulas or Excel sheets or anything. So you're going to tell the AI, like a 5-year-old baby, if you're not an expert on formulas, hey, I have some data on column A of this sheet, and I have the data on column A of another sheet. And in the third sheet, I need overlapping data, or you can say duplicate data, right? Depending on how you phrase it. I want the duplicate data from each of those columns to be pulled and harvested into a new sheet. Now, if the formula works correctly, if not, then try it again. But this will provide you with the overlapping keywords. So these keywords are the ones that Amazon recommends, where you're ranking organically, where you made a sale. And also, that is what you're already targeting through your exact phrase, broad, on campaign. So these are the keywords that you're already advertising, right? Now, there's multiple ways you can process this data. If you identify a keyword that hey, I'm already on top of this keyword, I'm ranking high, I'm bidding high, fine. You can delete that because it's already on your campaigns. If there are some keywords that overlaps and you are not targeting it actively, there might be opportunity. So you can do exact phrase or a broad modifier, depending on the budget you have. If you don't have a lot of budget, I would recommend broad modifier to start with because it acts as a phrase, it acts as a broad, and it will also find the exact keywords, right? If you have a ton of budgets to test with, do all 3, negate the exact in phrase and broad modifier campaigns, then you separate them out. And then now, this does not guarantee that you're going to make a sale. This does not guarantee that you're going to rank, but this is something you want to test. And this is where a lot of PPC experts, their full-time job is test, optimize, test, and optimize. Right, so that's one way. The next thing is now you don't need your search term report. Now all the game is the remaining keywords that does not overlap with your search term reports. So this is all of your organic placements that Amazon is displaying your products on, right? Now there's 2 different ways we can do it. Past purchases, right? So all the 18 months for the keywords that you're not targeting in PPC, that does not show up in search and report, but you made a sale. That means there might be an opportunity there, right? Because you made a sale, regardless that you're not advertising on it, you're not spending on it. So, and a lot of times we find very low search volume keywords, but there are some unique situations where it's a high volume. When you combine, past 6 months or 18 months, whatever data range you pull, and also very unique keywords that you might not have thought about. For one client, what we found out, they were in a Tumblr category, very competitive, but then they were converting a lot on gifts for women. A very funny keyword that has 3,000 searches every month. Gifts for a woman who wants nothing. It was a keyword that we found, and it came out of that filtered search query performance where we're not advertising. We had no idea that this could work. But when we checked the search on the search volume, it was 3,000 last 30 days, so it fluctuates. Now, moving to the holiday season, it has a lot of upside, especially if you have a product that's giftable, right? And this happens to everybody, right? Everybody's wife, like, I don't want nothing. People go search that exact term on Amazon. If you're not advertising on it, you're missing out on 3,000 plus search volume. And we also found a keyword, gifts for women who have everything, gifts for a woman who has everything, gifts for men who has everything. So there's a lot of variations to it. That is also something we found as an opportunity by pulling the queries and separated them out from search term report. These were that one that we, somehow got a sale organically. Now we started advertising on them more heavily, moving into holiday season. It's going to ramp up so fast, but it's super competitive. You do not want to advertise all of your products. Just make sure that you know what you're doing, because it's an expensive keyword where everybody's advertising on. So these are the kind of examples where you can find unique keywords that you might not have thought about.
I have a question for my listeners. Are you experiencing cash flow challenges with your Amazon business? Well, silly question. Who is not, right? So let me introduce you to Viably, a unique solution tailored for Amazon sellers and e-commerce enterprises. By connecting your Seller Central or Shopify account, you can promptly access funding along with a variety of financial tools, all for a flat fee. It's as simple as that. And for my listeners, they are offering an extra $1,500 in funding for eligible applications. Start your quick and easy application today at runviably.com/legends. And that's runviably.com/legends. Yeah. Okay. So let's dissect that a little more. So first of all, you now have, on one side, you have your search query performance consolidated, where you have search term, search volume, number of purchases, your click share, brand impression, all that. And then on the other side, you have your advertising report, your search term report. And you just check to see which one of those search query performance report search terms also exist in the advertising report.
Yep.
So your main source, your ocean, so to speak, your ocean is the search query performance, because that gives you everything. And then what you are doing is, which one of these search terms that are bringing me business, I am also advertising.
Yep.
But you are only checking against those that have purchases. If the search terms are on the advertising report, but there are no purchases, you simply check them. They don't enter into your consideration, right?
Yeah.
So search terms in advertising report with purchases, you match it up to the search query performance. That gives you one direction where you say, okay, I am advertising these keywords, I'm getting sales when I advertise, plus I'm getting sales ordinarily on these based on the search query performance. So therefore, now I am going to change my targeting to exact. Is that the action that comes out of that analysis?
No, that gives you a narrow list of what you're already doing. Now, for a lot of brand owners who do not utilize agencies, what I have noticed is they only rely on auto campaign, or they only rely on broad and trace campaign. Very less brand owners utilize all match types. So if a listener here is really interested into diving in, this report gives you what you should be targeting in exact, what you should be also targeting more heavily. Test it out. Maybe you do not want, it's a very expensive keyword, so you do not want to bid like $3 or $2. Maybe you want to stick to less than $1, right? So it just gives you a list of keywords to check. Are you already targeting this, and how are you targeting it? If you are targeting exact match, perfect. Maybe now then check with your organic rank. And this is where the organic rank comes into play, right? If you're ranking very high, then your strategy is going to be different. Then you want to focus on profitable sales. And if you want to go, I really want to rank on this keyword, you want to increase your ACoS, have a parallel campaign for profitability. But then if you're ranking a very low, but you're getting sales in advertising, you're getting sales organically, that's an opportunity. Hey, I'm ranking very low. If I increase my organic rank on this keyword, there's a bigger chance that I might get additional sales out of it.
Mm.
So there's different ways to look at it. That's how I look at it.
Okay. So bottom line, the fact that you match the search term advertising report to search query performance, the next step is to see how you are targeting those. And if you're not targeting them with more focus, that's what you need to do. And plus, you want to check the organic rank. Now, how that means that in order to check the organic rank, well, in order to incorporate the organic rank data into this consideration, you have to have the history of it, right? That means you are going to start somewhere, get your list of keywords, and start tracking your keyword rank so that when you're doing this analysis, you can look back and see how your rank is performing.
Or this could be the start of that tracking.
Okay.
So once you have that list of keywords, overlapping keywords, next thing you can do is in the same sheet, go to Helium 10 or Jungle Scout, wherever you pull your organic rank from. And then start searching for the phrases, download it in an Excel sheet, and then put it into another sheet within the same file. Again, use a VLOOKUP formula and then pull that organic rank. Now, not all search terms might be in that sheet. So once you do not gate, you can do it manually. So you can start searching on Helium 10 or Jungle Scout, wherever you pull from, you can enter those data manually. So this could be your start if you're already not tracking your organic ranking.
Yeah.
And that is going to help you strategize in more in-depth. So maybe you want to focus on low organic rank and you want to improve, or maybe you want to focus on your highly organically ranked and you want to dominate it. Depending on the budget, depending on the strategy of the brand, this could be a start of what keywords to focus on more heavily. And then you'll have another set of keywords where you could test and see if you can increase sales on them.
As you know, Amazon often loses inventory or overcharges fees. With Arti, you can now recover up to 30% of your lost revenue. At a monthly flat rate of only $99 with no commission fees for unlimited reimbursements, you can increase your bottom line. Their automated Amazon-compliant process ensures hassle-free refunds. Visit www.getarti.com/legends and sign up today to get 1 month free and discover your recovery potential. All right, so that's one bucket where the search term exists in both advertising and search query. And now we are left with those keywords in your ocean of keywords from search query performance that don't have any advertising data, or that don't have any advertising that have yielded purchases. Now, what do you do with those?
So there's two different things we can do. Once you have those data, you can use the, again, ChatGPT or any AI to give you formulas to harvest in a separate sheet the keywords that do not match with the search, and then you are left with your organic. Right now, the question comes, what do you do with those? Pull all the KPIs, search volume, impression share, click share, past purchases. The most simple one, past purchases here. If you have at least one sale, depending on the search volume, it's a very high search volume, then check your organic rank on it again in the same process. And then you can strategize. Now, if it's a very high volume, that means you have a lot of competition in that, which you previously did not discover. Or it could be a keyword that recently got a spike and nobody knows about it. Right. So a lot of different situations could happen. But then you, based on your budget, you want to test it. Test those keywords that you really like. Ignore your branded. If it's a keyword that does not align with your brand, doesn't align with your product, you can ignore that. But then if you find those keywords that you got to purchase on, like gift for women who have everything, it doesn't align with all brands, but if it aligns with your product, if it's giftable, then let's start advertising heavily on it, right? Or depending on your budget. So you can start with low bits, high bits, exact phrase, broad modifiers. That way you cover all the bases, and then in a week or two, then you'll get a data on those keywords that you found in search keyword performance. Now you have advertising history. You put some spend behind it. How do you convert? What's your conversion rate? What's your CPC? What's your ACoS? All those fun, metrics. So that's one way to find and utilize it. The next is impression share versus click share. A very simple formula that you can put after your click share. So you want to put if click share greater than impression share. If you have the formula where you put a comma, true, comma, false, this will tell you easily if your click share is greater than impression share or not. So you don't have to spend hours on it. Just drag it down. Then you can filter it by true only. So you only want to look at the keywords where the click share is higher than impression share. Now you have a list of keywords. Filter it, analyze it. Now you remove your branded keywords. You remove irrelevant keywords. Now what this data tells you is that you got probably 10 impressions, but out of that 10 impressions and the impression share, your click share is higher. You got probably like 0.01% of the impressions of all the impressions all of the brands got. But the click share that you got is higher than the impression. So maybe you got 0.15% of the click share. That means you're doing something right. The customer is aligning with your product. They're interested in your product based on that keyword search. So this could be your opportunity. It may work, it may not work. Again, take those keywords, test it on the exact phrase brought. What I have found out of all these keywords that I did, based on the same process, 40% of the keywords worked for me. 20% of the keywords did not get any impressions because they were, low search volume. And then there are the remaining percentages that spent, got clicks, did not get impression. Then I would pause it, focus on the ones that worked, right? Again, in a couple of quarters, you do the same thing. That's how you keep on increasing your impressions, increasing your sales.
Yeah, cool. So, okay, just to go over it, you take your list of search terms that don't have any advertised sales, and you are analyzing this time. The first tier is the ones with the highest number of purchases, right?
Yep.
So those ones, it's a no-brainer. You are getting business, so go target them with advertising.
Exactly.
So that's one phase. The second phase is compare the impression share with click share. If the click share is greater than impression share, those ones are obviously higher value. Then you take those and then go run campaigns and then test to see what's going on. One thing you mentioned, which frankly makes sense, maybe you can bring this into the same filtering where based on the search volume. So you may say, I want to look at only those where the search volume is greater than X and the click share is greater than impression share. Give me a list of those, then you could go after those. Then, it's worth it because there is enough volume, right?
Absolutely. The one thing I would advise is if your search volume is low, check the history of that search volume because it might have just dropped or it might have a seasonality to it, right? That is the super important thing that we all, a lot of people miss. Seasonality affects a lot, right? There might be a time when it was very high, it dropped now, or it was very low and it started picking up because somebody's advertising that keyword or people are just advertising.
How do you check the history of a search term?
Very easy. You search that search term on Helium 10 and right beside the search volume, there's a small graph. If you click on that graph, you can go back 30 days, you can go back 90 days, 1 year, all the time. If it's a very new keyword, you will not have a lot of data, but then you can see some kind of trend. If it's a keyword that has been searched for over a year or at least a year, you can see the yearly trend, and you can also find seasonality of that keyword.
Yeah, cool. Well, I guess that means you have to have Helium 10 to start with.
Or you can do it in Jungle Scout. I don't work on Jungle Scout, but I'm assuming that Jungle Scout would also provide
Yeah.
similar trend line.
Yeah, I'm
But
also
yeah,
a big Helium 10 guy, so
yeah.
I like Helium 10. So all the other stuff is not available in Helium 10, but yeah, this kind of stuff definitely. Well, that's great. So you've got three different buckets. So you've got those that are performing in search query performance and advertising, and those that are only in search query but with
Higher click
purchases,
share and
and those
purchase.
in search query without purchases but greater click share than impression share.
Yes.
Now I'm going to tell you one more thing. You can actually do one more thing here.
Mhm.
Take those cart ad rate, check the cart ad, those with cart ads, go to brand tailored campaigns, and then run a campaign for them.
I actually tested the brand tailor performance. Until now, Amazon has not provided the email marketing aspect for those, which they mentioned that it's coming, it's in the works. When you do that add to cart, and I saw a lot of data for a lot of people having add to cart but no purchase for multiple brands, we ran a promotion, but we do not have a capability right now to tell the client, hey, you're getting a discount, go purchase, right? Once we get that email marketing feature, it's going to be a game changer because you can target those specific audience, send them an email letting them know you're getting a special discount, come back
But
with the
Amazon
purchase.
is doing that already.
It's a different set, right? From what I have seen on my accounts, using the brand tailored performance under abandoned cart.
Oh yeah. But you're talking about how does the consumer know that there is a coupon? That's what you're referring to with email marketing, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is Amazon is already promoting those, not through emails, but in other ways. Like
Yep.
if you create a campaign to target your, abandoned cart, so to speak, those who have the item in their carts, they get a notification and saying that there is now a discount available if you complete your purchase.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes.
So you just create a normal campaign on the keyword.
You just create a normal campaign.
Ah, okay. I'll try that. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, all you do is you just create a campaign. If you qualify, you have to have more than
Right.
1,000 to qualify. So if you just go there, and for those listening, go to advertising, and then you have to be brand registered, of course. So as long as you are on brand registry, go to advertising. The last option is called brand tailored campaigns. When you go to brand tailored campaigns, you're going to see nothing if you haven't done any before. Click create campaign. It's going to give you, I think, 9 or 10 different options. The one that we're referring to is, I forget the exact terminology, but it's abandoned cart.
Mm-hmm.
So you are going to see a number, and those that have more than 1,000 will be available to click on it, and then create campaign. When you go to create campaign, you plug in a discount, you plug in the start date and the end date. And now here is the trick. Whatever the discount rate is, you cannot change it. You are locked in. You can come back and change the dates if you want. Also, you can assign a budget, how much you want to give away. You can change the budget, you can change the dates, but you cannot change the discount rate. So when you run that campaign, what happens is, it's not like you're running a campaign where you have to go click to run it. No, all you do is you create the campaign. That's it. And then Amazon starts notifying people who have your item in their carts that the price has dropped from this to this.
Ah, I see. So it's not a advertising console campaign. I just pulled up one of the campaigns I created, not realizing it's how it sends a notification, not just the email. I realized that we have 200 redemption in the last 30 days. So that's great.
Yeah. Now, you want to hear a trick? You don't actually need to run any campaign for anything.
Right. Right.
All you do is you go to your item price, reduce it 2 cents, 3 cents, whatever. And automatically it will show up on the cart page. The price that the price of the item you have in your cart has been reduced from this to this. So you don't need to do anything. There is no budget for this. There's no nothing. There's no discount rate, so to speak. But it's another way because, as you know, people add stuff to their cart for all kinds of reasons. They say, okay, I want to buy this, and then they get distracted, and they have something else, and then they forget. It's in the cart. So
especially during the holidays or peak Prime Day where people add to cart.
Discount is an incentive. But let's face it, out of 100% of the people who have stuff in their cart, not all 100% need an incentive to complete their purchase. They just need a little nudge. So it just reduce it 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents, whatever. It gives them that little nudge. This one, the price has now dropped. That they go, oh, I meant to buy this, so they can go complete the purchase. That's my trick.
I see. Yeah, I've been eagerly waiting for the email marketing feature within the brand tailored performance. So I have probably overlooked it a much, but now that I look at the data and the trick that you just told me, I'm going to test it out on all of our clients. It's going to get a lot of sales right now.
Here is the danger. So there is another campaign there for brand followers. So those people who decided to follow you, if you run another campaign there, if you create another campaign there, those campaigns are combined.
Right.
So one of my clients were analyzing the sales, and I saw a 25% discount. I thought, they don't give 25% off. Where did this come from? So we started looking, and we drilled down to the individual transaction. Sure enough, the transaction shows blah, blah, promo rebate, 10%. And then blah, blah, promo rebate, 15%. So I thought, this doesn't make sense. So we go look at because it's a promotion code. So we go look at the promo codes, not the coupons, but promo codes. There isn't anything. And then we thought, okay, it has to be brand tailored. So we go, sure enough, they had 2 campaigns. One was for abandoned cart. The other one was for brand followers. And each one got, and this smart guy, whoever that was, they figured it out.
Yep, agree. So one campaign at a time.
Yeah, I mean, you can run multiple campaigns. You just need to be careful with the discount codes.
Yeah.
And then also make sure that you set a budget so that you don't give away the store, because otherwise, you give 40%, 50% off combined for an unlimited amount of budget. Then the next thing is you've got a reseller on your listing, selling your own product, competing with you on the buy box, right?
Yeah. The worst thing. That's the worst nightmare for any sellers right now on Amazon.
Yeah. All right. Well, Ankit, this is quite an episode. I have to say, we've never been so analytical, but this has been a great help. So now my favorite part of the recording is always getting to know my guests. So tell us about yourself. So you have a very interesting story, because your cooking tells your story, right? So your interest. So tell us, where did you grow up? When did you realize you were interested in this kind of stuff?
So I grew up in Nepal. I came to the United States to study. Initially, I came to study hotel management. That's where my cooking, interest started grew. But while I was in Nepal studying hotel management prior to coming to the US, I had a marketing class. The professor there was so nice, so convincing, so knowledgeable. He actually got me more interested in marketing. So when I came to US and was able to change to marketing, that change the course, that was like instant. Like, if it's not hotel management, I'm going to marketing. I graduated in marketing from McNeese State University in Louisiana. And then at that time, social media was really huge. I didn't know much about Amazon pay-per-click, Amazon advertising. I was not interested in that. I'm very much interested in pay-per-click itself. So when as anybody's looking for a job, they're applying everywhere. I got hey, Amazon PPC, that's interesting. So I started doing some research. And it was very interesting because there you can track your return on ad spend, you can track conversion rates, which is super hard. It's very low on any meta ads, TikTok ads, any kind of brand awareness ad. So it got me intrigued. I started learning, and now I am all about e-commerce. I do not want to look into social media as much as I would invest or recommend Amazon pay-per-click and Amazon DSP to any of the clients. Social media is there just to boost your e-commerce. So now I'm totally about e-commerce.
By the way, what I learned, this is a while ago, Nepal is the only country in the world that has an index that the government measures for happiness. So when there is a new legislation, or they just pass the legislation, they very carefully track this happiness index because they care about the people's happiness. Is that true?
No.
It's not.
I don't know who tracks it, but I'm sure not the government. The government is all about
But there is a
corruption.
happiness index.
I don't know. I'm not sure about the happiness, but I know the peaceful index. So Nepal is one of the most peaceful countries. So we rank very high on it. Happiness, I think, comes because of the peace.
Yes.
But I can tell you that data is
Well,
all
I
BS.
don't know. I don't know that I
Yeah.
agree. Respectfully, I think happiness brings peace.
I agree. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. I agree.
Because I read this book called Happiness Advantage that I recommend everybody by a gentleman called Sean Aker. So he starts the book by saying that in the old days, when everybody thought the world was flat, then fast forward a little bit, that they thought that the whole universe, the world was in the center of the universe and everything revolved around the earth until Copernicus. When he came along and invented the telescope, it turned out it was exactly the opposite. It was the sun that everything else revolved around. So his analogy is very simple. Everything in life, success, money, love, whatever, all revolves around happiness. So his point is, you just need to be naturally happy. But because of the kind of lives we live, we get wrapped up in all kinds of stuff, and we're never happy because we index our happiness to our goals. And when you achieve the goal, by the time you achieve, there is another goal. So you never enjoy the achievement. So therefore, you're never happy. So he says that you need to flip it. So happiness is in the center of everything. That's why I say happiness may bring peace.
Well, I can say based on my experience, because I'm from that country, and if you're talking about just Nepal, it's peaceful, but people are not really happy.
Really?
That's all I'm not gonna get into hot waters with the government, but they're not happy.
Well, they're not happy in general, or they're not happy with the government?
They're not happy with the quality of life, the opportunity, government.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
legislations.
so they're not happy with the government. So this is what I say. Being not happy with the government is actually a good thing because it encourages you to do something about it. What is not okay is not happy with the government and you just complain. You don't do anything. That doesn't go anywhere. So what I want to know is, so you said that you came here to study management, right? Business?
Yeah, I came here to study hospitality management, but then I moved into marketing, which was my greater interest.
And did you, growing up as a kid, were you interested in marketing or numbers or anything like that?
I wasn't interested in numbers, but marketing was definitely something, somewhere inside of me was very interesting because you would see marketing everywhere, right? No matter what planet you're on, in the earth, any country, you see some kind of marketing. And it's very intriguing because every brand tries to capture your attention, and especially in 2023 and moving forward, there's marketing everywhere. But then the best part was all the call outs, right? Hey, this Coke, brings families together or brings you happiness. All of these, special quotes was something that really attracted me into marketing. And as I studied marketing in my bachelor's, just one subject that was the hook for me was wants and needs. The differentiation of wants and needs still sticks to me till this date. And that's what I always apply as a foundation to any marketing strategy that I develop. If it's the product that you're advertising, is it a need or is it a want? Then you base your strategies based on that.
So this is a very true statement. So you're talking about marketing, and then there's the sales component, right?
Mhm.
So marketing comes together with sales, but in order to sell, you have to be able to separate the wants and the needs.
Yeah.
And people don't care about their needs. You sell them the wants,
Mhm.
and you give them the needs.
Yeah.
And of course, in order to sell what they want, you highlight the benefits.
Mhm.
So this ultimately, where I use this? Storyboarding the images and the A+. Because
Yep.
that's why listing features and benefits, it doesn't work. Who cares about the features? That's what people need, but they're not interested in what they need. They
Right.
want what they want. They want what they want because of the benefit that they're going to receive. So it's the benefits and the wants. That's what needs to make up your content mostly.
I think a pricing strategy also affects. So if it's a want, people who really want it are willing to spend more.
Right, exactly.
So you can sell a premium product, you can show why this is worth your money, and people will pay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, great conversation. Definitely something that I myself will do. In fact, what I'm going to do is we've got a SaaS platform. I'm going to see if we can incorporate this kind of data consolidation so that it will be at your fingertips. Great. Okay. Well, thank you, Ankit. So tell us, how can people reach you?
People can easily reach me through LinkedIn. I get a lot of messages from there. So if you go find Ankit Goel Ghimire on LinkedIn, I should show up. If not, if you want to reach me by email, ankitghimire0@gmail.com, you can easily message me and then ask any questions. I'll be happy to help anybody who's looking to dive more into search query performance or anything regarding PPC.
Great. Thank you, Ankit. Thank you. This was excellent conversation, and I'm sure people will take advantage of it. Thank you again.
Yep. Thank you.
Before you go, make sure to sign up with Aarti and claim your lost revenue. Visit www.getaarti.com/legends to register. You will get 1 month free and experience Aarti's features. Sign up now at www.getaarti.com/legends. Also, say goodbye to your cash flow problems and claim your extra $1,500 when you qualify for $25,000 or more in funding. Go to www.runviably.com/legends and start your application today. Thank you. And this brings us to the end of another episode, and I'll see you on the next one.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the episode, and share it with someone you think would benefit from it too.